Hi, I am Vasudha Raghunathan from Informatica Support, and today we are going to be learning about global objects in the repository and an easy way of examining the access levels on these objects in terms of permissions. The agenda for the video is understanding what global objects are and the permissions on these objects, and using Metaquery as a way to examine the permissions on these objects. So, what are global objects? To understand this better, let us look at the repository as a whole. The repository is fundamentally capable of managing three kinds of objects: global objects, first-class objects, and secondary objects. Global objects are objects whose scope of operation extend across the whole repository. Examples of connections, folders, queries, labels, and deployment groups. And the important point to note is that global objects are not versioned. First-class objects are objects like sources, targets, transformations, mappings, sessions, workflows, etc., which are encompassed in a folder. And secondary objects are objects like fields, instances, and components, which are parts of first-class objects. Like fields are parts of sources, targets, and transformation. Components are parts of sessions. And let us now look at the access level on the global objects. Permissions control the level of access users and groups have on objects. In our case, the global objects. The permissions that can be assigned via the Repository Manager client tool are read, write, and execute. Examples would be read, write, and execute on a folder, read, write, and execute on queries, etc. Now that we know what global objects are and the permissions that can be given, where do we find this information? Metaquery from Support Console is one of the best ways to understand the distribution of access level on global objects. Permissions on all the global objects are available through the tool with advanced sorting and filtering options. Let us have a quick look at the tool. I am using Informatica Support Console Agent. Update is 3.0. So this is version 3.0. This is Support Console Metaquery, and I have already been connected to my repository. And this permissions group is the group we are interested in to understand global objects and permissions on global objects. Let us take permissions on folders as an example. Let us get the details of permissions on folders. We get the following information. We get folder name, username, the type of the user, which would be whether the user is a user or a group, because the username encompasses both users and groups, and the permissions, which would be read, write, and execute permissions. The way to filter is through folder, user, type, or permissions, and you can choose to have all this information exported to a CSV or emailed to you. An interesting difference is what we find on connection objects. Let us have a look at what details we get for connection objects. For connection objects, we get an extra information of the connection type on whether it's Oracle or DB2 or any of these. You can choose to even remove that option if you don't want it. So this is what Metaquery provides in terms of understanding global objects and the permissions on global objects. Please do check out the support video on how to run Metaquery tool to query the repository from the Info Support channel. We appreciate your feedback, so if you do have any, do let us know on supportvideos@informatica.com or on Twitter at twitter.com/infosupport. Thank you very much.